guys. And we're back. Episode 5.
Is it 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on episode 5.
Wow,
episode 5
it went fast.
of the Bear Effect podcast. Yeah, man. Yeah. 5 episodes.
It went fast.
It went fast. On tonight's episode, we are discussing red flags.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Red motherfucking flags. That's my favorite color. It's my favorite color, but not when it comes to flags.
Well, it shouldn't be. It should be the stuff that is not your favorite that makes you run in the other direction.
Right.
So this podcast being one that is about BDSM, polyamory, and swinging, we're going to talk about red flags for BDSM, polyamory, and swinging.
Yeah.
Now, there are too many different types of dynamics and relationships to be able to go through every single one of them. So we're going to just be talking about red flags in general across the different lifestyles and just some things to look out for. Now, word of warning. If you see this podcast and you hear about all these red flags and you start to think to yourself, I think I might do that. That should be your sign to stop doing that shit and start trying to do something different. Okay?
Wait, if they hear the podcast and they hear the red flags and they want to do the red flag?
No, if they're thinking that that's something they already do. Like if we say something and they start looking at their situation like, you know what?
That sounds like me.
That sounds like me a little bit.
You might want to reevaluate.
Yeah, now would be the time to kind of reevaluate, or it's going to answer the question, why doesn't anyone ever want to play with me? So these are things to examine in yourself and to look out for others.
Definitely. So what are we going to start with? BDSM?
Sure. We can start with BDSM.
Red flags in the BDSM lifestyle.
Again, because there's so many different types of dynamics, we're just going to talk about general red flags from the top and general red flag from the bottom. For tops, I'm talking about dominance, masters, play tops, handlers, daddies, all of the people on the side of the slash that are the ones doing the thing to the person. If you are someone who is a switch, then look out for the top and the bottom, because when you're switching, those are things that's going to come into play. For tops, a couple red flags you want to look for in the top. You don't want someone who wants to move too fast. If you meet someone today and they have to start doing some kind of play with you today, right away, it has to be right away or not at all. That's something you want to steer clear of. I tell people all the time, even people that want to play with me, I tell them you need to watch me play with someone else to see if I'm the type of top that you want, because it has nothing to do with me being a bad top or a good top, but my style might not be compatible with your style.
Definitely.
You might just want something different.
That's something that I do. Every time that I meet somebody new, in the Dom, Impact Player, whatever it is that I'm thinking about, I legit, especially again, since after meeting you, I legit watch them, and from beginning to end, from how they started off, if they have that initial conversation, to make sure of all the do's and don'ts and all the good stuff, all the way to the end and the aftercare. That's how I know if I want to play with somebody in the BDSM world or not.
That's another one. If as a top, you should always be willing to sit down and have some kind of negotiation. As a bottom, if you're talking to a top and you want to play with the top and they want to just jump right to the play, and you have not had a discussion about safe words, you have not had a discussion about trauma triggers, you have not had a discussion about a medical history or anything that they might need to be on the lookout for, that's also a red flag. You don't want someone that is so gung-ho and so excited to play that they're willing to jeopardize your safety and not take that into effect and not think about that.
Right.
So it's very important that your top understands his responsibility as someone who has to protect you and keep you safe. And part of that is I need to know a little bit of something.
Right.
And I have had people that I've had to say no to because the negotiation didn't go well. They had a back problem. they didn't know exactly what the back problem was, but they wanted to do a suspension. No, I'm not going to suspend you.
Yeah.
And, you know, they look at me and they, well, what do you mean no? What's confusing, the N or the O? Like, no, I'm not. If you don't even know what your issue is, I'm not going to put you in a suspension, fuck up your back even more. And now you're pointing the finger at me like I did something wrong. And basically I did. I did not take your safety into consideration. I didn't protect you. And I was complicit in helping you to fuck yourself up. So as a dominant, I am responsible for protecting you sometimes from yourself. And your lack of knowledge is something that I need to protect you from. So people that have played with me, I will tell you now, I do not say yes to everything. They don't always get their way and they're not always happy. And I am 100% okay with that.
I can vouch for that one.
I guarantee you, I am the villain in a lot of people's story. And you know what?
It's okay. That's okay. Because at least they're still safe and sound and walking around with no problem.
That's okay.
So that's a major red flag. If at least to me, if I meet, you know, a dom and I want to do some type of place or a session, and we don't have that initial conversation, that's a red flag for me. And a big red flag.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be long and drawn out. It should at least include safe words. Mm-hmm. And is there anything you need to tell me? Is there anything I need to look out for? Is there anything that, you know, I need to be aware of that when I'm going to play like this with you, I might cause a problem or I might trigger something? Like, it can be something as simple as that, 2 questions. But there should always be establishing of safe words at the very least, and a, hey, is there anything I need to know? And if he wants to put that onus on you for you to tell him whatever it is you think is pertinent, in my opinion, just my opinion, for me, that's irresponsible, and that's not someone that is a responsible top. But if that's how they want to do it, that's on them. And I guess that could be okay, but there has to be a at least bare minimum of negotiation.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I made a list because I knew I wasn't going to remember all. That's why when you get old, your memory start going, and you got to make lists. You got to put everything in your phone. So tops. Now moving away from the top and just play, and starting to talk more about like building something with someone, some type of dynamic, daddy little, dom sub, master sub. If you're talking about like building some type of dynamic and you're looking beyond just the play, another big red flag is a top that's not willing to earn your trust.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's definitely a big one, because how are we going to have this relationship if I can't even trust you?
Exactly.
And with a dom, it's
power exchange dynamics are based in trust. Trust is one of the primary absolute requirements of a power exchange. You cannot forfeit and give up all of your power to someone you can't trust. And any dominant should understand that has to be earned. You're not going to just give that trust to anybody for any reason. That's something that they have to earn, and that takes time. And that amount of time is different for everybody. So that part of the dynamic has to be worked on before you get to a point where that's something that's going to come. And I've seen a lot of dominants get into a dynamic and feel like, oh, you should be 100% in from day one, listening to everything I say, serving me, being obedient, no questions asked. And realistically, that's just not how it works. Trust is earned, and it should be earned on both sides.
Definitely.
Another big one in BDSM. Now, this may be different in other lifestyles. I'm only talking about BDSM. BDSM is not play that is based in sex. So when you're talking to someone about BDSM and BDSM play, it should not focus on sex right away, and it should not be all about sex. When we play in BDSM play is the dangerous shit that we do.
The impact play, the electro play, the rope, the fire, cupping, the whole shebang.
And all of that shit is dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, we understand that there's a risk. We take that into consideration. We do what we can to mitigate it, but it's all dangerous. So we have to first look at safety before we start looking at other things. That's why that conversation is so important. So if they're trying to jump past the safety, if they're trying to use the play just to get the sex, and you notice that they're not really concerned with keeping you safe or protecting you or making sure that the play that you're having is safe. They're really just focused on only sex. That can be another red flag for BDSM and BDSM play. And I can be honest, I was guilty of that when I first started in BDSM. I was coming from the swinging lifestyle, and I did not realize that BDSM was so removed from sex, because the swinging lifestyle is like all about sex.
All about sex.
So I thought that BDSM was going to be like all about sex with the beating ass.
With the beating ass.
All about sex with the tying up. All about sex with the fire.
Yeah.
But I had to learn.
I was thinking like that too in the beginning.
Yeah, I had to learn through experience that the sex is kind of secondary or even tertiary to the safety and the play and the protect and making sure that you're keeping your partner safe. And with all this dangerous shit that we do, you're not really hurting anybody.
Right.
So that's something that a lot of first timers or people that are new to BDSM might be a little guilty of. That can be a red flag. But just because someone is exhibiting a red flag, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person or that they want to mislead you or that they want to do you wrong.
They might be learning themselves.
You just don't know. Exactly.
Right.
If you're at a point where you're just learning, then you might exhibit some red flags simply because you don't know. So it can also be a teachable moment. And it can also be something that you sit down and talk about your potential partner with and be like, well, hey, how much experience do you have? What do you know about BDSM? What do you know about what it is that we're trying to do or what it is that you want to do? Let's sit down and make that part of the conversation that you need to have before you start playing with this person.
Yeah.
So for tops, generally speaking, those are some good red flags to look for. I am not saying that this is a complete list. I'm sure there are more I'm not thinking of. And then there are some that will only apply to a specific type of dynamic or a specific type of play that I'm probably not listing. But again, there's so much stuff that we could go through. This is just a general basic list of things to look for. Now, this is where a lot of controversy comes in. A lot of people in BDSM believe that bottoms cannot exhibit red flags because everything is based in the top, and the top gets all the
one
power.
that the top is in control. So if you're in control, how
can a bottom have a red flag? Because the bottom is the one that's giving away all their power. They're the one that is on the receiving end of your control. That's a lie. There are predatory bottoms. There are red flags from bottoms, just like there are for tops.
Predatory bottoms. That just
bottoms
made me think of somebody who booked you for a spanking session to try to rape you.
And it has happened. I have had someone.
He's so sexy.
No, it wasn't like that.
You're so irresistible.
Nope, not even. I had somebody book me for a spanking session, and we did the spanking session, and I guess it turned them on. It made them real horny. So they decided they were going to turn it into sex, and I told them, no, I don't do that. I'm not a prostitute. You paid me for a spanking session. You don't. That doesn't include
wrong dick. Type of spanking session.
Yeah, that don't include dick. If you want dick, it's so much more expensive, and it has nothing to do with money. You can't pay for it. You got to earn it, and it takes a lot to earn this. So I told them no, and they were extremely upset. Even so much to the point where they told me that they were not going to pay me and they wanted their deposit back and they were never going to book me again. And they were going to tell all their friends I did a bad job.
How did the advertisement go for this booking? They somehow thought that you were giving up the goods.
I don't advertise. Everything I do is word of mouth. They saw me. They saw me at King's party. And they saw me doing some spanking and doing some stuff at King's party. It may have been you. I don't know. And this person at King's party approached me and said, hey, do you do this like on the side? And I was like, yeah. I gave them a business card. They called, they set the appointment. We had the negotiation. I made it clear this was for impact. They said that's what they wanted.
Well, they wanted impact, all right.
And like I said, they got some impact and they wanted
impact.
A little bit more. And when I told them no, they were very upset. Very
upset. A lot of people don't take rejection good.
Especially women, dudes, we're used to rejection. We get girls telling us no all the time. But let a dude tell a woman no. Oh, y'all don't take that shit.
Listen, I've been getting told no for the past 3 days, and I think you would be very proud of me Very proud of me.
You ain't like it though.
Although no, listen, this morning I woke up choosing violence though. I mean, like, but not on the outside. It was like I was venting to my sister, and I was just going in. And then of course I didn't do any of the things that I said I was gonna do. So the violence turned into
that's good. Empty threats. That's good.
Empty threats.
That's
yeah.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
So a couple red flags for bottoms are, and I know any tops that are listening to this, you're gonna remember these times. When you meet that bottom that says, I don't have any hard limits. You can do anything you want. There's nothing that's off limits. There's nothing that's off the table. I'll let you do anything you want to do.
That was me when we met.
Yeah, it was.
And then you pulled out that dragon tail. And I was like, I kid.
Yeah. A lot of people don't seem to understand. When you come to me as a bottom because you saw me doing some presentation or some performance or some demo, and you say, I want to do impact. And I say, okay, well, what are your hard limits? As soon as you say, I have no hard limits, my imagination starts to wander.
Oh, no, yeah. You're busting out with the club that has the nails at the end of it.
You got to remember, I'm a professional.
Yeah.
And I have boxes of toys.
Yeah, and not the type of toys that y'all think.
Yeah, no. These are adult toys.
Yeah, ain't no Legos in that bitch.
Ain't no dildos and vibrators. I have those also, but I'm talking about a whole different level of toy. So when people say I have no hard limits, the first idea that I get is, I wonder how much pain she can take. Because I am a sadist. I will happily tell anybody I am a sadist. Now, the difference between me and a sociopath, somebody that's in jail, is I require consent. Okay. That is a very huge difference.
That's the thin line?
No, that is a thick line. That's a very thick line, okay? An extremely thick line. And not only do I require consent, I also require payment, okay? I don't just beat ass for free. Okay. Yeah, I had somebody look at me once and be like, so you just gonna beat her ass? I was like, no, I'm not gonna beat her ass. She didn't pay for that. I'm just tying her up. She didn't pay to get beaten. But if she paid you, you would beat her? Oh, yeah. If she paid me, I would. Of course.
Definitely.
She's paying for it. Why wouldn't I?
Why wouldn't I?
And they were like, you're sick. You're sick. I was like, no, I only do it if the person wants me to.
Yeah.
I'm not out here beating people that don't want to get beaten.
That's like me with the tattoos. I got a lot of people that are like, you enjoy this, don't you? Because they'll be sitting there crying and squirming, and I'm just like, I'm at work. You can cry and squirm all you want as long as you're not moving, and I'm still going. They're like, you enjoy this, huh? And I'm like, it's not that I enjoy this. It's just that this is my job, but you do. But I do. And I don't hurt them on purpose. Like, let me. But see, that's the thing. Now, let me put that out there, because then I get people who are like, oh, you be hurting people on purpose that you don't like. No, even the people that I don't like, that I tattoo, they're still paying me. So I still treat them with respect, and I still do it the way I'm supposed to do it. I don't purposely hurt them. But now if they wiggle and cry and squirm, you know what I'm saying? It will bring a smile to my face as I keep going.
No, but I mean, a person has to understand this is your job.
Right.
For you, a tattoo is not about the pain you're inflicted. It's about the art you're creating.
Right.
So yes, I love to create art. I love
my job.
A tattoo and give someone something that they love, like tattooing something that's really meaningful to someone, that brings a tear to their eye once they see it. I'm sure that feels fucking amazing. And I'm sure you love that.
Right.
Did it hurt? Yeah, it hurt, but that's a side effect. That's a byproduct. That's not the purpose.
Right. That's not
the art is the purpose.
Right.
So
yeah, your purpose is to literally bring the pain.
Yeah. I'm my purpose is pain. I like when people say that hurt. I like it. I'm glad it hurt. And not only that, do you really want to be my good little girl and let me hurt you?
Why you gotta look at me? Don't look at me like that when you say that.
How much do you love me? How much do you want me to hurt you? You're going to let me hurt you? You're going to take this for daddy? You're going to take this pain for daddy? You're going to let daddy be happy by doing a little something to you, and you're going to make me happy by letting me do it to you? Oh, you're such a good girl. You're such a good little girl. Thank you, daddy's princess. I appreciate you letting me hurt you. It brings a tear to my eye and a smile to my face, letting me hurt you. And yes, yes.
And with that being said,
I
we're
know
gonna
you
go on
really
break
love
because
it.
I need to go to the bathroom and freshen up. Because what the fuck was that?
I know you love it. I know
Like,
you love it. So, as I was saying, a couple other red flags for
right? Oh
bottoms.
my, right? Baby bear is baby
A
bear.
couple other red flags for bottoms. You want to make sure that if your bottom is giving you that I have no hard limits, that's something that you want to be very careful of. Because a lot of bottoms don't have hard limits because they've never really met somebody that was going to take them to the limits
To
that
the
they
limit.
have.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I like to fuck with people. When somebody tells me they don't have any hard limits, I have a pair of clippers that I have in one of my toy bags just for that purpose. When a girl tells me she has no hard limits, I'll take them out and get ready to shave her head. And she'll look at me and be like, "Well, what's that for? Are you gonna vibrate my clip with clippers?" I'm be like, "No, I'm gonna cut your head bald. You said you have
what
you
does
have no
that
hard
have
limits."
to do? But that's
I
how
have a
is that?
depilation fetish. I like to
What?
depilation. I like to remove people's hair. I don't have one, but for example, if I had a depilation fetish and you came to me and you said you had no limits, I want to cut all your hair off. I want to cut your head
You
bald.
do know that if you would have pulled those clippers out when I first
It would
met
scare the
you,
shit out you.
no,
You was probably
no,
would
no,
never
no.
fuck with me again.
No, I would have let you.
Girl, bye.
Let's
Anyway.
not forget that I had shaved my head previously, so I know, and I like the short
And
hair, and I
then-
like when it grows back. I would have fucked your head up. You would have pulled that card. You would have pulled the cards out, and I would have pulled that card. Like,
And then
let's do it then.
and I would have cut it off just to see how far you were willing to
Yeah,
go.
and
I would
then-
have
and
gave
then
you
you
a
would've been-
reverse mohawk.
And then
You
you
would
would
have had one
No,
bald streak.
my mom did that to me. My mom gave me a reverse mohawk as punishment. I'm pretty sure I told you the story. Did I tell
No,
you the
you
story?
never
I
told me
didn't.
the story.
My
I
mom
would've gave
gave
you
me
a reverse-
a reverse mohawk, like straight down the middle, y'all. I swear to God.
I would have
in
given you a
middle
reverse
school.
George Jefferson. Just cut
In middle
cut all of that off and leave all the hair here on the sides. So you just bald on the top. You got a hair all
That's
around
not
the
a
side.
reverse Jefferson.
Oh, that's
That's
the
the
George
real.
Jefferson,
Yeah,
the real
that's the
George
real
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
That's the real Jefferson. I didn't know that that was a thing, a kink that people like to remove hair.
Everything
Well, yeah,
is something.
you're right.
Everything is a thing. Literally.
Right.
Everything is a thing.
It is.
Literally.
You're right.
If you can think it up, I'm sure they have a
Kink
word for it and a kink. And not only that, there's a word for it, there's a kink for it, and there's a group for it somewhere that meets up.
That meets up for this one
particular kink. And they have groups. They probably have get-togethers at a restaurant where they eat and they sit around and talk about it.
Talk about
Everything is a thing.
What's the name of the kink of people that get turned on when they hear you burp?
Oh God, I forgot the name of it, but it is a thing.
It is a thing.
There's the burping is one, farting is one. There's one for sneezing, and there's one for hiccups.
Hiccups.
Yeah, there's a group of people that get turned on by hiccups, and they have a meetup. Hiccups, burps, farts, and sneezes. I'm telling you, everything is a thing.
I can do 3 out of 4 because I draw the line at farting.
Anyway, red flags for bottoms. So the first one is they have no hard limits. Another one is bottoms that are not willing to use their safe words. Sometimes you have an issue where bottoms feel like they are failing you or they're disappointing you as a top, or they feel like it's a challenge for them not to use their safe words. So in their mind, they have this thing where they're not going to use their safe word because they feel like it's a competition.
Mommy ain't raised no punk.
Yeah, my mom ain't raised no bitch. I ain't gonna safe word. But that becomes a very dangerous game to play.
Yeah.
Because as a top, especially playing with a new person, I don't automatically know what your limits are. I don't know how far I can take it. I don't know what hit is going to be the hardest hit you've ever had that you love because you're a masochist and you love pain, and the hit that's going to break your arm. I might not know the difference between the two. And the whole purpose of your safe word is to help me keep you safe. So if you're not willing to use it, or you think it's a game or some competition, then that creates a problem, not just for me, but for you as well.
Yeah.
Because it makes it a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, you don't know your limits because they're not advising you.
Right.
You go ham and, like you say, really break a bone or something.
Because as a bottom, your primary role is communication with your top. That is the one thing you are responsible for, is communication. So if you're not
Is
willing
that
to
why I
do
talk
that,
a lot? Because I'm a bottom.
oh no, you talk a lot for the same reason I talk a lot, because you got a lot of shit to say.
Always.
Well, yeah.
Talk your shit.
So not willing to be honest, not willing to use safe words, no hard limits. Another one is they're not willing to negotiate. If you are setting up a scene with this person and you're trying to have a negotiation and they're trying to blow it off, yeah, whatever, let's just get to the play. I don't need a safe word. I don't need to tell you about my personal history. I've done this 1,000 times, blah, blah, this, blah. Those are all red flags. Because again, if you're playing with this person and you've never played with her before and you don't know her, you are not going to automatically know these things. And if they're not willing to tell you so that you can keep them safe, then they are not keeping you safe. Because if you do something to them, you're responsible for that. So they're part of helping you not do something to them that is illegal or permanent or really serious, is they have to be willing to communicate. And if they're not, that's a problem. That is a serious problem. And I have been on the receiving end of some very predatory bottoms. I've had bottoms I had a bottom that negotiated a scene with me. We scened a few times. They then negotiated a sexual scene after we scened a few times.
And then
they had been raped about 3 months before all of this happened and did not tell me anything about it. I didn't know anything about it. And when we talked about their traumas and their issues, they never mentioned that. They never talked about that. So I had no idea. So when it came to me looking at what their traumas could be, or staying away from things that could be traumatic for them, or not doing things that might create trauma, the CNC that we discussed created a moment where it kind of took her back to that traumatic experience and fucked her head up. And that became my fault. And everything was put on me and I was to blame. And I didn't find out until later about their situation and their traumas. And when I approached them and asked them, well, why didn't you tell me that? Why didn't that come up in a negotiation? Oh, well, I didn't want to feel like a victim. I don't like it when people look at me like I'm a victim. And it's like, well, that doesn't help our situation, and it doesn't create a situation where I can protect you and we can be safe with each other. You put me in a position where I am now part of that trauma because you decided you didn't want to say anything. And again, that's a very predatory bottom, looking to be a victim when they don't have to be. Again, probably 100 more that I'm not mentioning for all of the different types of dynamics, but generally speaking, those are things to keep an eye out for when it comes to BDSM from both the top and the bottom side.
Okay. Somebody here was asking, what are your rules?
I have a million rules for
ZYPE,
rules for play, rules for dynamics, rules for relationships.
I'm assuming on BDSM because that's what we've been talking about. I don't think we've gotten into like relationships and stuff like that.
So BDSM rules when it comes to a dynamic or a play partner.
A play partner. I'm assuming a session because that's what we've been talking about.
Okay, so for a session, normally the negotiation has to take place at least 24 hours before the actual session. I don't do the meet you today, play with you today situation anymore. I call those sample scenes. For a sample scene, there's a quick, these are your safe words. What are your medical history or medical conditions that I need to know about that have anything to do with what I'm doing? What are your trauma triggers that are in any way related to any of the play that we're doing? And what are the things that are important that you need to tell me outside of that? So we get those things, you tell me those things, and then outside of that, is there anything additionally? If they tell me something, they don't tell me something, whatever it is, the last thing we talk about is what are their hard limits, what's off the table, what's a complete no-go, and then from there we get started. A sample scene is literally 5 or 6 minutes. A scene, like a planned scene, is normally anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. So if we're doing like a little sample scene, that's normally something where I'm a dungeon master, I'm a dungeon monitor, I'm at the dungeon, And people will come up to me and say, hey, I've never done BDSM before. Can I try that?
Like at Splash Mocha?
Like at Splash.
Yeah.
Splash Mocha, Splash Takeover. When I do the party at Rooftop, Kinky Carnival, when I do parties at other dungeons like Eyes Wide Shut in Tampa or the Treehouse or stuff like that, they're just sample scenes. Now, if someone wants to set a scene and they want to pay for an actual scene, we have a negotiation process that happens at least 24 hours before the scene. The day of the scene, there's a check-in. Depending on how the check-in goes, either the scene happens that day or it's rescheduled, because you never know what last minute shit is going to come up.
Right.
So I don't really have rules so much as in procedures that have to be followed in order for things to happen the way they need to happen.
So you know Tank, Sir Tank.
It sounds familiar.
Isn't Sir Tank in Central Florida? In Orlando? I believe I know Tank.
Okay.
At Secrets?
I do stuff. I teach classes in Orlando, Tampa, and I do stuff at the Woodshed and places like that. So I probably know him. I probably seen him, but I'm better with faces than I am with
Tank and
names.
Elise. Yeah, I know them. I don't know if he knows them, but I know them. I know who they are. Yeah.
Okay.
In Orlando.
Okay. So yeah, I don't think so much rules, but more just procedures that I follow. And then everything is totally different with paid scenes as it is with unpaid scenes. Because if you're paying for a scene, it's about you.
You're gonna get exactly what you want, exactly, and then some.
You're gonna get everything you want, the way you want it, how you want it, when you want it, where you want it. It's gonna be all about you. If it's not a paid scene, then I'm going to do what I want to do, the way I want to do it, how I want to do it. I'm going to follow your hard limits. I'm going to follow the safe words. But outside of that, I'm going to build it the way I want to build it. I'm going to do what I want to do, when I want to do, how I want to do. Now, you always have the ability to safe word and stop at any point. And I'm never going to violate whatever hard limits that you set in place during the negotiation. But outside of that, it's on me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answers their question, but
okay.
Yeah. Swinger? Red flags for swingers?
Swingers or poly?
I can do poly. I was gonna go me, you, me.
Me, you, me. I mean, we both in the poly.
Okay.
Sort of, kind of, almost, sort of.
Okay, poly.
I mean, once upon a time.
So polyamory is. So I always have a problem with people that think that polyamory is cheating or that polyamory is swinging. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Polyamory is a lifestyle in which you are openly transparent with all of your partners.
Each and every last one of them.
Meaning your girlfriend 1 knows about girlfriend 2, and girlfriend 1 and girlfriend 2 can talk to each other without you if they want to. Right. If you have to be the manager or the controller of all communication between girlfriend 1 and 2, that's when you start to get into that gray area, and that's when your poly starts to look a lot less like poly and a lot more like swinging.
Swinging and cheating.
And cheating.
Right.
If poly for you is just about fucking a bunch of people and everybody you fucking know you fucking other people, but it's really just about fucking, you're really a swinger. Yeah, there's not really a relationship. You're not really spending quality time. You're not really building a life or building a situationship with the people that you're fucking. Is just y'all fucking. Then that's more swinging. It's not really poly, because poly is about relationships. It's not just about sex. So me, for example, my poly is what they call big happy family, where I want everybody to be able to kind of sit down and talk and have a good time.
Have dinner at the table together.
Yeah, if I'm at work late and both of my girlfriends are at home watching a movie, hanging out, chilling, that's perfect for me. I love that. That's awesome. I want them to be friends. I want them to have a relationship. It doesn't have to be sexual if they don't want it to be sexual, but I want there to be some kind of relationship there.
Some
Now,
type of sisterhood.
So exactly,
Sister wives.
not all poly is like that. And a lot of people, when I say you shouldn't have to be the controller of all communication, they look at me and they say, okay, well, what about a V? What if your relationship is with each of them and they don't have a relationship with each other? And that's fine and that's okay. But if there's some type of emergency, they should still be able to contact each other and communicate outside of having to go through you. Even if they don't, that's fine. But there should be something in place for that to happen. Because again, it's not about the sex. It's about building bonds and connections and relationships with people. So a lot of the red flags that apply with poly
apply with regular relationships.
Transparency, being open, honesty, being honest with all of your partners, and really being clear and honest about what you want. I want to just fuck. I don't want a relationship. If that's what you want, then be honest about that. If you don't want a relationship, that's okay. I just want to be friends with benefits. Okay, cool. You have a lot of people out there, both men and women, that'll be 100% okay with that.
Definitely.
But you have to be honest. Don't have somebody thinking that they're in a relationship with you when you're just a fuck buddy. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know how, you can be in that gray area and you kind of ride that gray area because it's easier to ride the gray area than sit down and say, okay, this is
what's really going on.
What's really happening and what's really going on, because you don't know if they're going to agree with it or not. Poly is about being honest, being open, being transparent, and having those tough, uncomfortable conversations when they need to be had, and not just avoiding them so that it stays comfortable and easy.
Yeah. That can happen in all relationships, though. I'm about to have an uncomfortable conversation myself, and this ain't no poly situation.
Yeah. And remember, we started this out by saying a lot of the rules for poly are going to be the same rules for regular relationships.
Yeah. Definitely that. Definitely.
Yeah. Swinging.
What are the red flags for swingers?
I only know of one.
Listen, you were a swinger back in the day.
Yeah, but that was back in the day. I'm an old head.
The red flag for swinging and the dude, playing the itsy bitsy spider up your leg. That's not a red flag.
Yo. I was all about consent that night. I do not consent, bro. I don't know where you think that spider is going, but dude, your spider ain't working for me. Nah, no itsy or bitsy.
Red flag for me is the guy that does not want to put on the condom.
Oh, they do the I ain't got one.
The guy, I ain't got one, the hesitation. I don't know where it's at. Right. Even the ones that I've been tested, you can see my test results, and that's fine if you choose to play with them without a condom. But me personally, I don't care if you just got tested an hour ago. You could have been doing whatever an hour ago.
Yeah, you got tested an hour ago, but half hour ago you fucking that other girl in the other room.
Yeah. So why are you asking me about condoms? So condoms, not wanting to put on condoms, not even mentioning condoms when you're like about to play. I've had that. I've had people that condoms are not mentioned or whatever, and it's like it's about to go down, and it's like, but hold on, buddy. Oh, you need me to? Yes, I need you to put on a condom.
But you know what? That is understandable, because nobody knows what you don't say.
Exactly.
So if you're having a conversation, because there are people out there that are okay without condoms. There are people out there that are doing the damn thing and they doing it raw. And although I don't agree with that, you don't agree with that, that's their choice. And that's okay for them. And that's what they want to do. And they grown ass adults. But they are grown-ass adults, and if they want to make that decision and they want to rock like that, that is 100% up to them, and that's okay. But if you're having a conversation with this person and you're talking about play and you don't mention condoms and they don't mention condoms and condoms never come up, you can't be mad at him.
Oh, no. You're right. I'm just, okay, so break it down even more. I'm mad at the ones who will put on a condom and then try to slip it off because they don't want to wear a condom. No, I've had that. I've had somebody try to stop and say that they're changing the condom literally 5 times within 5 minutes, and it's like, dude, what do you, to the point to where I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm done, because I don't even feel comfortable anymore.
And you should be.
I'm done. Like,
If you
like, I don't understand why you keep trying to change this condom. It's not, it's the same. Ain't nothing wrong with it. And I feel like you're just trying to slip it in me the moment I turn my head, which that was the one I'm talking about. That really was the case.
Mm-hmm.
Big flag, big red flag.
And I mean, like, again, if you have had that conversation and you have talked about that and they know better and they do it anyway, you should be going in the other direction. They don't deserve the pussy. You need to walk away.
You need to walk away. You need to go.
Yeah, you definitely need to go. But again, nobody knows what you don't tell them.
Exactly. You got to speak up, y'all.
So you got to speak up. You got to speak up. Ladies, if you need him to wear a condom, something needs to be said. And fellas, if you know you're going to be wearing a condom, don't let that part of the conversation go without being said. Like, somebody needs, if you adult enough to be out here fucking people, then you're adult enough to be able to bring up condoms in a conversation.
Definitely.
Like, you going to see my whole dick. I'm going to put it in you. I can talk about a condom. Like, it ain't no reason not to at this point. So, yeah. And the other one that you mentioned that I hadn't thought of, but I was so glad you mentioned it because it definitely needs to be said.
Oh, my God. Yes. So, yeah, we're like, he was like, what kind of red flags do you have in the swinger world? Listen, you know what's a red flag? When y'all just finish playing and nobody's wiping nothing down.
And you know why I didn't even think of that? Because that never entered my mind. To go from one person to another person, like if you in a threesome and that's one thing because you're changing condoms from one person to another.
Right.
But if you just fucked the girl 10 minutes ago and you're now going to fuck somebody else, and the thought, let me run to the bathroom to like wipe down, freshen up, and just at least take a whole bath.
Right.
Like at least take a whole bath.
At least.
Put it in the sink and run some water on it.
Yeah, go rinse your mouth out. You just finished sucking some dick and eating some pussy. Like, please go wash your mouth out.
And don't get me wrong. For some people, that's not a thing.
I don't know, man. Well,
yo, I'm going to tell you, I had a girlfriend once and we were swinging and we were in the lifestyle. And something that she loved to do, one of the things that turned her on is if I ate a girl out, she wanted to taste her on my mouth.
Okay. Yes. That's different. That is.
She literally would not let me go wash my mouth out before. She wanted to, as soon as my face was out of her pussy, she wanted to lick my face and lick my nose and kiss me and all of that.
So you know what?
That shit turned her on.
And
she loved it.
And you're not the only one, because I have a really good friend who's not gay like that. Mm-hmm. But when her partner, her one particular partner, eats out somebody else, she wants to like lick his face, and she's not even gay like that. So I get that. But what I'm talking about is a swingers party where, and not so much with your person, because when you're with your person, that you have that dynamic, you have your rules, you have your, you understand what you like and what you don't like, and you know that that's what she likes. She likes to come lick your face after you've been in some coochie. You know what I'm saying? So that's not really so much what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, I'm at a party, it's our first time playing together. We just, met, we just had a conversation. We decide we want to play. Let's say I see you later on in the evening, because right then and there, you're not fucking somebody, so I can't even use that as an example. Mm-hmm. But later on, you're fucking somebody, and then we run into each other again, and we want to play. Take that minute to go wash off.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, take that minute to go wash off, go freshen up.
Don't just assume.
That I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And what's a red flag for me too is somebody, like, let's say I just finished playing with somebody and they seen that I just played with somebody. I don't want to argue with you on why you're not letting me go freshen up. Can I go freshen up? You might like it dirty and funky, but let me go freshen up. That's me.
Okay, so remember.
But that's me though.
Yeah, that's you. But
again, that's me.
Okay, so I have been in situations, especially couple situations, where I am the bull and I'm with a couple and I'm fucking this couple. And after I finished fucking the couple, the dude wanted to eat her out and clean her up.
My bad. I like smells.
Anyway, The dude wanted to eat her out, and he wanted to clean her up, and he wanted all the
Again, they're in a relationship.
But no. She didn't want him to do it. She wanted to go freshen up, and they end up arguing because he wanted to do it, and she wanted because she didn't feel fresh. We'll say
right.
But for some people, they want the not fresh. That's what they like. That's
I mean, I like the funk when it comes to smells, so I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about new situations.
Okay. Don't just assume somebody is into that.
Right. Don't assume that I'm into, the funk, even though I am into the smelly funk, not the don't wash your ass funk.
Yeah.
I'll smell your armpit in a minute. But
Get off me.
You took a shower.
Yeah.
Before I got there. Huh?
Wow. You say it like it's a bad thing. Oh, you bathe. God damn it.
God damn it.
Yes. Normal people take showers. Yes, it's a good thing.
Is that a red flag?
No. Not taking a shower is a red
flag. I'm talking about, is it a red flag that I like the funk?
No. Well, you know what? Honestly, to someone who doesn't know you, and that's like a new person,
they think I'm fucking weird.
Like self-conscious about their smell, they probably would think that's a red flag. And again, red flags are not about you're a bad person because you like this, or you're wrong because you like this. It's just something that I need to have an eye on, and I need to keep an eye out for, because it presents as something that can possibly create an issue or can possibly be a negative issue. Does it have to create or be a negative issue? No, it doesn't have to, but it has the potentiality.
Right.
So it's something that I'm keeping an eye out for. It's something I'm paying attention to. So if we met for the first time and he was like, yo, I'm really into smells. I'm gonna be like, really, bitch? Okay. All right, no problem. I'm keeping an eye on your ass. And I'm watching how you move. And I'm watching what you do.
You watching if I'm going around smelling people's ass?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let me tell you something, Mercy. When we met at the swingers party for the first time, and you was like, yo, I'm really into smelling people. I was like, okay, all right, no problem, bitch. But that whole party, I was watching your ass, because I need to know, are you smelling just every random motherfucker? Like, are you walking up to just random motherfucker, lifting their arm up, and then putting your whole face? And yes, I understood it after I watched you for a little while. Kind of watched how you interacted with other people.
Like, okay, she's only smelled 2 armpits in an hour. That's not that bad.
And then I was like, okay, it's just something that, she likes from her partner. This is not just walking up to randoms on the street. Hey, yo, take your drawers off. I want to smell them. Like, that is a problem. So, again,
I mean, that's a problem to you, because there's people out there who like that shit too.
Again, there's groups that meet up and sit and talk about it around a table of food and think it's all good. But again, like I said, just because someone exhibits a red flag, that does not necessarily mean run in the other direction. But it does mean, you know what, this might be a problem. This has the potential to be a negative issue. Let me keep an eye out for it. Let me talk to this person about it. Let me make sure we have a conversation about it. Or let me see how they move. Let me see how they act. And let me see what this really means to them. Now, red flags also come in degrees of seriousness.
Right.
If somebody says to me, oh, I like to smell your underarms. Okay, that's a little bit of a red flag. If a dude comes to me and says, I like to fuck little kids, that's a huge red flag.
That's a big one.
That is a turn the other direction, run, call the police, and report this motherfucker red flag. Okay? Smelling underarms, that's something that I'm just going to be like, okay, we need to have a conversation. I need to keep an eye on you. I need to watch how this underarm action is going and what you're doing, and like, are you assaulting people to get underarm?
No.
So
I'm only assaulting my person.
Yeah. So again, like I said, red flags are not something that is this, in the box rule that if you see one, that automatically means run the other way, don't look back. You also have to have enough situational awareness to be able to sit back and discern, have enough discernment to be able to look at this person and say, okay, well, is this a serious problem? Is this a minor thing? Or is this just a quirk? Do I want to deal with this quirk, or do I want to tell them that they need to fuck off because I don't want to have anything to do with this? And, that is something that's going to help you to sort through whether the relationship is going to be something that you want to get into, or whether you don't want a relationship with this person. whether you say yes, I want to play, or you say fuck no, don't touch me. Like these are the things that are helping you figure that out.
Right. Another red flag that I've seen in the swinger world would be, because I have had my very few unicorn days. Very few.
Let me tell you something. Your horn, if you're a unicorn, your horn is like just a pimple on your forehead. It's not, because you know what a unicorn is.
A unicorn is somebody who likes to play with couples,
yes,
with a husband and a wife, or
and,
whatever.
Okay, that's and the wife.
And the wife. Yeah, I can play with the wife. I have played with wives. I'm
not talking about take one for the team play. I'm not talking about. I really want to fuck your husband.
First of all,
so here you can suck my titty as long as he fucking me.
First of all,
like I'm talking about like genuinely interested.
First of all, you know me well enough to know that I'm not going nowhere near the wife unless I really want to.
I do know that. I know that you are.
Excuse me. There are no taking one for the team when it comes to women in my world.
No, but you're more bi-situational.
Right, exactly. Which is why there is no taking one for the team, because the moment I try, this is what happens, y'all. This is the difference between me wanting to do it and me taking one for the team. Me wanting to do it looks like doing it. That's what that looks like. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something. If you need a girl's pussy like this,
see, because I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing.
Cut her clit to shreds.
You didn't see the tongue. No, you didn't see the tongue hanging out. It's the tongue hanging out. You didn't see that.
Oh God,
it's the tongue hanging out.
Oh, I feel so sorry for that poor lady.
So me taking it for the team, which was my last threesome, which was me taking one for the team because I was trying to get something out of that. Not even before I even got that close to it was when I Now mind you, let me put it out there, was nothing wrong with the girl. Nothing. There was no reason whatsoever for me to be gagging.
Everything was right here.
Everything. It was me. Right, it was not her. She was perfect. It was pretty. It was clean. It was nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, gotta put that out
all up in here.
But me personally, this was something that was set up, and we already know that I don't work well under those circumstances. Mm-hmm. I don't like setting up a pussy eating session. You know what I'm saying? I need to be. I need. It has to be like in the moment. The vibe is right. You know what I'm saying? The
alcohol has to set
and the drugs. And then it'll happen. You know what I'm saying? But if you put me in that position, that's the difference between me wanting to do it and me taking one for the team. Yeah. So there is no taking one for the team. When I generally say that I was a unicorn for a couple, it wasn't.
Oh, you meant that one couple that one time.
I've done it more than once. I do it probably once a year, but it's definitely if that. But the last time, yeah. But yeah, I've done it before. So red flag. So red flag.
Hold on a second.
Can we get to the red?
Once a year.
Maybe.
Okay.
Sorta.
So that means, let's say you started at 20. Just real.
I started at 21. Thank you very much.
Started at 21.
Had my first little
session
at 21.
So you're saying you've done it 20 times.
I can
once
tell
a year would mean once.
So that means like 23 sums. I don't think I've had 23 sums, but I've had at least 10.
Okay. So you're not a unicorn, you're more like a deer with one antler. Like you're a deer that lost one antler in the fight and the other one was bent over to the middle, so now it pokes out like this. You're like a singled antler deer. Not really a unicorn.
Aren't only the boys the ones that have?
Well, it depends on which ones we're talking about. There's moose, and then there's impala, where all of them have.
Okay, I'll be an impala.
You're a single antler impala, not really a unicorn.
Not really a unicorn. Yeah. All right, cool, but whatever. It got done.
Okay.
A few times.
Gotcha.
And one red flag was this one couple. Bro, the red flag, and like this shit was like shining. Mm-hmm. I'm following, and I've told this story on podcast before, not this one, but on previous ones, where I'm following them. I'm following them. We about to get a room. We left the party. I'm following them. We stop at the first red light, and the wife is trying to like escape the car. She's trying to get out the car. She's
at a red light.
At a red light. He's like yanking her back in. Red light. I don't think this is happening today. This is not. So
it's more like an abduction.
It wasn't an abduction. I think that they got into it on the way to the car, and everybody was intoxicated, so she did have a few drinks or whatever, and I guess they just got into an argument, and she was trying to like walk out of the car and get away from the situation or whatever, and so yeah, that didn't happen that night because that was a big red flag.
Oh fuck yeah,
that was a big red flag.
Let me tell you something. Arguing at the swing party, arguing in the hallway at the swing club,
getting thrown down the stairs,
at the hotel takeover. Those are all red flags.
Right. Those are all
like the times I've been at trapeze and I've seen couples arguing in the locker room. Yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah, we can't fuck you.
That's a red flag.
We can't fuck you.
Yeah. Nobody wants to fuck
the stank face.
Yeah,
it's a red flag. It's a
and
red flag.
You have those situations where you're talking to, well, you won't know this one, but you're talking to the wife. I talk to the wife. Anyway, she's giving you all the flirting. She's giving you all the feelings. Like you feel it because she's on your ass. Like she's rubbing your arm.
Right.
She damn near grabbing your dick.
And
she goes to introduce you to the husband and straight.
Yeah, the stank face. That's what I'm saying. The stank face. It's definitely a red flag.
Or you're getting everything from the husband, and you go to meet the wife, and she's looking at you like, this bitch.
Yeah, those are definitely red flags. The body language, you know what I'm saying? Those are all definitely red flags. That was the major red flag that one.
Well, yeah, they tried to escape. That's normally.
She was trying to make a run for it, yo.
Yeah.
We got to the lobby, and I was like, so I don't think, call me.
Yeah. When they try to get out of the vehicle at a red light,
it's a red flag.
That's a pretty good indicator they're not interested.
And deal with one ender, yeah. Shout out to everybody who's online. One time for Sentinel and Kaya. Of course, Cookie, Baby Bear is on there. Brogad, ZZPE. Who else we got on here? Canimals. Cletus, I ain't see you in a minute, man.
Is that Chill? Chill is on here.
Chill is on here.
Hey, girl.
Chill is on here. Florida Tactician, The Wicked, Grind Mode. One time for my sister, Mimi Mercy in the house.
Sis is on.
Sis, she always on. She's always her and Baby Bear are always like the number two people that are on there.
Yeah,
and support us the most.
Yeah, they love us. They love us. They love us.
So yeah, any red flags that you guys have come and encountered, we'd love to hear them. You know what I'm saying? Leave us some comments, send us a DM.
As you know, we like funny stories. So
we love funny stories.
If you don't want us to talk about your story, please put in your DM or comment, don't talk about this. Because if you don't put that on there, you might hear about it. We'll give you your credit, but you might hear about it because we like funny stories.
We should do an episode like that where people just send in funny stories that happen to them.
Oh shit!
Let's do that. I wouldn't say. I'm not sure if it'll be ready for the next episode. But if y'all get them in, we can definitely do it for the next episode. We can have story time.
So we're going to do 3 different episodes. One is going to be your most embarrassing story.
And then what happened?
One is going to be the best story, like the best situation, the best scene, the best whatever. Your most embarrassing, your best, and your worst. And we'll do a show for each one, yes. Because let me tell you something. The embarrassing is the one I'm looking forward to.
The embarrassing one?
Oh God, yes. That's gonna be the night that I might have to sit on that side closer to the bathroom so I don't piss myself. Because I'm gonna be laughing. I got some embarrassing stories of some shit that happened to me that I can't tell without almost peeing myself.
I've got some embarrassing stories.
Yeah. And if y'all send us your stories, we will definitely tell ours. Ain't gonna be no holding back.
Oh no, you know I'm gonna tell my story.
Ain't gonna be no holding back. We gonna talk our shit.
Yeah, y'all already know. Yeah. So send us your stories, your best, your worst, and your most embarrassing.
Yeah.
So we can go ahead and set this up and make a segment out of it.
Yeah. And if your worst is your most embarrassing, then I am so sorry for you.
And we just gonna have to tell it twice.
Yeah.
We'll talk about you twice.
Because I got some. Ooh.
I've got some. I've definitely got some.
We need to do this. We need to do those shows later. Because I got a feeling once they hear my most embarrassing story, we might lose some viewers.
Wait,
it might be some people on here. No, it might be some people on here be like, yo, I can't fuck with him no more. I can't fuck with him no more.
Nah, shit, it might get us some more viewers. Get them out here.
I can't fuck with him.
They're gonna be talking about you, girl. You heard about Bear,
bro?
So you might want to log in next.
You know, never mind. We're not gonna do embarrassing story.
We are. We are definitely gonna do it because I've got some shitty, embarrassing stories.
Oh shit! I wasn't even thinking about the shitty stories. I got them too.
I got some shitty stories. I've got some. Yeah,
I think I know one of your shitty stories.
You were with me.
Oh, that was so. That
funny. Was one of my shitty stories.
Oh my god, I still laugh about that.
That sometimes. Was one of my shitty stories.
Like, and you had the nerve to tell me in the car when we weren't even close to a bathroom, and I had to suffer. I just had to suffer because I couldn't even get up to go pee, and it was so funny. It was so. Oh my god, bro, so funny.
Tune in next week for this funny story.
Nah. That's too soon. We got to build some loyalty before we tell them these stories and they start running away.
But they love those stories. They're not going to run away. They're going to run right on back.
Bro.
They're going to run right on back.
Oh. And I remember how the story started. I remember how it started.
It started with him.
No. When you came, you was like, I didn't think you'd be okay with it, but I want to tell you something. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's no problem. What happened? And you presented it in a way where I did not know it was going to be that funny. I thought we were having like a serious conversation, and then you just destroyed me. You just destroyed me because I was not prepared.
I have a way with story time. I have a way with story time. But all right, so just that quick. We're on an hour. Our hour's up, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, at least we got through all of the. Did we get through all?
We did get through of them. The swinging, the BDSM, the ones that we can think of. Yeah.
You be taking us off topic. I got to bring you back sometime.
You do the same thing. It's okay.
But we're not talking about me though. We're not talking about.
You see what you did? You see what you did?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I did.
So listen, we will see y'all next week, same time, same place. 8:00.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank y'all for coming.
It was so good to talk to you.
I'm gonna let you know now because we didn't do our intro in the beginning. I am your girl, Mercy JustFly, your freaky tattoo artist, with my co-host
Sentinel Bear.
And we'll see y'all next week. We love y'all. Oh, we doing hearts?
We do hearts.
All right.
No, I'm a teddy bear.
Oh wait,
grizzly bear.
You're a teddy bear, not a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Rawr.
You're supposed to have that ready.
Listen. It's there. It's ready. It's there. Let's end it.